Hi everybody, John here from the Golf Academy at Swan Lake Resort, and welcome to the Friday Fix.
We're changing the format here at the Friday Fix, and we hope you like it. Now, we are going to still continue to give you some golf instruction. In addition to that, we're going to give you some golf swing drills to keep you fresh, keep your golf swing developing even during the winter months, and
Kids Corner.
motor skill learning. Golf is a motor skill. We'll talk about the difference between training, practice, and play.
The mental game and golf course management.
Golf flexibility
and fitness.
and club fitting news.
Junior golf.
Wow, that's a lot to cover. So let's get started.
Kids Corner.
Hey kids, John here. Check with your mom and dad. But I've got some putting drills that you can do all winter long in the house. So all we need to do our little putting practice is a putter and a golf ball and two little blocks of wood or a couple of old shoes or even your new shoes. You're not going to hurt anything. We want to put the two blocks of wood at least as wide as the face of your putter. And we're going to put the ball in front so that we have to make our stroke through the blocks of wood and hit our ball. Now, you can do this in 3 feet space. All we're working on is making sure your putting stroke goes back and through, right through the blocks of wood. Now, those are blocks of wood. Ask your mom or dad, you see any scrap of wood laying around. Do not saw off the legs of furniture. So we might have a target out here. Like I said, it could be just 3 feet away, or it could be 4 feet away, 10 feet away. I wouldn't do any more than that, okay? And all we're gonna do is set up and make our stroke so that it goes through the blocks. Great little drill to keep that putting stroke in shape during the winter, kids. And you only have to do a couple minutes. Do it as often as you can, okay? This drill has really helped Brooklyn Gardner, who's become a great putter. She's, I believe, 6 years old, okay? Zach Kresser and David Cochran have both done very well, made huge improvements this year based on this drill or variations of it, okay? See you next time. A lot of you out there suffer from a swing characteristic called early extension. Now, first I'm going to demonstrate what it is and then show it to you in action. And then we'll give you something you can do at home to kind of get a feel for whether you do or you don't and the correct feelings you should get. If we could eliminate early extension, like, you know, by waving the magic wand, there'd be a lot of really good golfers. It is the major cause of swing inefficiency because it snowballs. It's the source of a great deal of poor swing characteristics. On top of that is the major distinction between amateur golfers and professionals. It's one thing we can point out that is definitely different between a professional swing and an amateur. So to start off with, let's explain and describe what early extension is. Early extension is simply a player who swings the club down, and as they do, they allow their pelvis to move towards the ball. Now you can see the effect of that. That takes me from one posture to another. Okay, let's give you an illustration of what early extension is and then some possible outcomes, because there are a lot. It's the #1 cause of inconsistency. So, Ryan, this is our head pro, Ryan. He was kind enough to do a demo for us last year for another student of ours to kind of show what early extension is and what are the adaptations. So I've got some lines here just to kind of show you some starting points. Now Ryan's set up a little more bent over than he normally is, but let's just look at, as he swings the club back in this instance, there is a little bit of a gap right there by his tush line. Okay? As he swings down on the downswing, you'll see that that space has grown. And he's finished quite a bit off of his tush line. Let's look at the side effects to that. It has taken and made his shaft angle quite a bit higher. It has also caused him to get taller. So the effect of moving forward with your pelvis towards the ball on the downswing is no doubt going to affect your height, but also the angle of your shaft. Now, that can put your wrists in a very weak position, so you can't release the club, or you can over-release it, or you can, what we call, flip. So it causes a lot of things. But anytime the shaft gets on end that much, it's going to cause a lot of inconsistencies, because you're having to adapt your swing on the fly. The swing is only a second long. You don't have much time to compensate for that change in angle and change in posture. So let's show you a drill that's going to get you on the road to an early extension free golf swing and nothing but pars and birdies. All right. Okay, the first thing we want to do to address the situation of early extension is deal with your address position. Most players, and I will say all amateur players who set up with their knees really bent and their femurs in this position are going to return to a higher point, or they're going to early extend. Okay? So the first thing we want to do is have you stand up against a chair or a countertop. Okay? Very tall, very straight. And now we want to get a little bit of roundness, but we want to make sure that we have balance points. So a straight line between the balls of your feet up to your kneecaps through your underarms will give you a position that's very similar to this. And all we want you to do is take a back swing, and then we want you to squat. So squat, keeping that in contact with your tush, your backside. Okay? That's the very first thing that we want to do. So we want to feel you squat down, keeping your balance lines directly over each other. Okay? Remember, from the top of the backswing, early extension is doing this. So we want to get used to doing this. We're sinking into the ground. Okay? Nothing else is changing here. I'm just simply sinking. Okay? Another thing that you can do is you can get in this tall posture, and you can have a chair right here, put a club right in your belly button, and just turn this way and turn back this way, keeping that in constant contact with your rear end. Those are two really good exercises to start out. Again, this is a process. So we want to start out keeping our tush line there and knowing what that feels like. The squat, keeping in contact with either the chair or countertop. Recently, I had the opportunity to sit down and discuss course management and playing at a high level with our director of golf, Chad Hutzel. Now, if you may not know, Chad has been a PGA professional in Indiana for many years and is an accomplished player. Not only that, as an amateur, he was a college scholarship golfer. And he is also the course record holder on both the black and silver courses here at the resort. Now, Chad doesn't get, because of his responsibilities, get to play as much as he'd like. But when he does, he plays pretty well. So we're going to kind of pick his brain and try to find out some of his secrets.
Well, I think when you're talking about the difference between a professional level player and our amateurs and everyday player, it's probably just the lack of the amateurs knowing from one shot to the next, what is that ball going to do? Is it going to go right to left this shot? Is it going to go left to right this shot? I think that plays into their ability to make good decisions when they're playing the game, whether they should hit a driver or not hit a driver, whether they should tee up on the left side of the tee, the right side of the tee. Just that lack of confidence and knowing from shot to shot where it's going to go, I think that's what keeps them from playing their best golf. And another thing I see with them is being able to capitalize and take advantage of when they've done something well. Or they get on a little bit of a run or whatever, being able to take advantage of that. They've hit a really great drive, and they've got a short iron in their hand when maybe they would have a 6-iron in their hand. And they're not able to I'm not saying they hit it in there close for birdie, but they're not able to get it on the green where they can convert a 2-putt for a par, keep that momentum going. You know, they dribble it or they miss the green wildly right. Their ability to score, their ability to capitalize when they've done something well is something I think that is a big difference between a high-level player and an everyday player. I think one thing they could definitely do is a pre-shot routine. Okay, I know that's something that you stress very much to your students, and I don't teach as much as you do, but in the amount of time that I teach, and especially when I start talking about players starting to get better and starting to achieve better things, a pre-shot routine is critically important. And doing the same thing repetitively over and over and over again is going to breed confidence in what you're about to do. Maybe not necessarily going to mean you're going to always pull that shot off, but it means you went through the exact same sequence and preparation to hit that shot and thought process, and that's something that gives you confidence when you're standing over it and you're about to fire all those muscles in your body and hope that they work. And I think I think tour pros, that's critical for them. They play obviously under an enormous amount of pressure and stress compared to what we play under, but I think that's what it's all about. That pre-shot, at least they know they've controlled from the minute they pull the trigger and start to swing. They've controlled everything else up to that point. Knowledge is power and is key, and just the confidence of having done the same thing repetitively. I think that's one thing that's really important.
I'd like to introduce our next segment, which is Golf Flexibility and Fitness with Terry Moss. Terry comes to us by way of the sport of roller skating, where he and his wife are both 3-time national champions. They are owners of the Plymouth Skating Center here in town. Terry is also coach for a top 10 world-ranked roller skater. But his past also includes fitness training for professional soccer players and world-class runners. So welcome, Terry. He's the host of our Wintertime Golf Flexibility and Fitness. We're heading into the off season, and we're not playing enough golf due to the weather. and so we're less active. Give us like 3 things we can do to maintain that level of golf flexibility. Not to increase, but just maintain
Stay
that.
limber and maintain for springtime.
Right.
The first thing, check with your physician to make sure it's okay for you to exercise.
Gotcha.
And hamstrings and back pain are frequent injuries in golf. To maintain something through the winter so you're prepared for the springtime, when the season starts up, really quick, easy way to stretch the hamstring, and that is place your foot on the back of a chair. You want something just below your hip, and you just want to kind of lean into it, no bouncing. You just want to lean into it.
Okay.
And you stop, and you hold this for 30 seconds. And then you switch legs,
Gotcha.
and you just lean into it.
Can I do it like this?
If that's fine for where you are at now, yes.
Okay. And that's going to help you with...
That's going to help the back of the leg to make it length, so it's longer and stronger as opposed to compact and strong.
Okay.
And you want it long and strong, not short and strong.
Because this is my normal wintertime posture.
Many of us will be in this position for the next 5 months. Whether it's watching TV or having your Dairy Queen.
Okay, Terry, what are you doing on the floor?
What I'm doing on the floor is now I'm going to be stretching out my back. Take that same chair and place it on one side of you. You're going to move the chair in, and you're going to hold this position for 30 seconds. Make sure there's no gaps underneath the lower part of your back, so you're going to take your belly button and push it down to the floor while this leg is as straight as you can, and you want to hold this for 30 seconds. So between the hamstring stretch and this inner back muscle that you're stretching on this one, you will be more limber and longer and stronger. And the third exercise to lengthen and strengthen the inside of your legs is to put your shoulder up against a wall. You want a little space from the inside foot from the wall. You want to lift the inside foot, and you want to bump the wall with your hip. This attacks this muscle and it strengthens this muscle. So in your golf swing, you have the ability to shift weight and get on the correct side, whether you're left or right-handed.
So
And-
we would reverse that for
And then,
do both.
you would go like this, lift the inside leg, and you want to bump the wall.
Cool. Looks easy enough. Looks like I can stay flexible this winter.
Longer and stronger.